As Camilla made a startling move against Prince William's courageous decision, King Charles was overcome with emotion and began to cry. After Camilla's daring acts, which stoked tensions within the royal family, King Charles was reportedly taken aback, according to a reliable anonymous source. Prince Charles is currently in a hazardous situation as a result of decisions that Camilla, the Queen Consort, has taken that have caused the British monarchy to become uneasy. The public discourse on tradition, loyalty, and the shifting dynamics of the royal family has been sparked as a result of the controversies that encompass Camilla's decision to invite her ex-husband Andrew Parker Bowles to private family gatherings, the exclusion of Camilla's family from royal events, and the subsequent effects on King Charles' relationship with Prince William. The controversy was started by the exclusion of certain individuals. The troubles apparently began when Prince William allegedly had an impact on the guest list for key royal Christmas festivities, according to accounts from insiders. In light of the revelations that were connected to Camilla's son, Tom Parker Bowles, Camilla's family and grandchildren were not invited to participate in the celebrations that took place at Sandringham on Christmas Eve and New Year's Eve. There have been reports that these leaks included criticism of the manner in which Prince William and Prince Harry treated Camilla, which has raised concerns regarding the level of trust within the royal circle. Camilla was reportedly stunned and saddened by this concealment, and according to sources, she felt as though she had been duped. Camilla has neglected to celebrate the new year with her children and grandchildren for a considerable amount of time, ever since she tied the knot with Charles. As a result of Prince William's decision to revoke the invitation extended to her family to take part in the Sandringham walkabout and celebrations, her anger turned into rage. According to the reports, she interpreted the omission as a direct attack on her personal relationship with Prince William. Considering Camilla's unrelenting efforts to bring together members of the royal family who had previously been at odds with one another, it is clear that the betrayal had a significant impact on her. She had feelings of alienation and unappreciation as a result of the broken expectations of family cohesion that she had over the Christmas season. She believed that her position as Queen Consort gave her considerable control over the activities of the family, according to a source within the organization. On the other hand, William's actions brought to light the limitations of her authority and the limited approval she received within the inner circle. It is said that Camilla expressed her dissatisfaction to Charles, saying that this exclusion appeared to represent a rejection of both her family and her efforts to incorporate her heritage into the setting of the royal family. Because of this sense of alienation, she made the decision to devote her attention to her own children and grandchildren throughout the Christmas season, which led to her engaging in activities that were unconventional and brazen. This is an audacious and unorthodox course of action. When Queen Camilla extended an invitation to her ex-husband, Andrew Parker Bowles, to join her family in spending New Year's Eve at her private residence, she did so in a manner that was unexpectedly different from the customs established by the royal family. As a result of this brazen conduct, King Charles, who was staying at Sandringham for the ceremonial royal festivities, is said to have reacted with anger and dismay. According to some with knowledge of the situation, Camilla's actions are what caught Charles off guard, compelling him to face the repercussions of her choice. The scenario was made much more complicated by the fact that Camilla apparently attempted to leave Sandringham in order to celebrate the new year with her children and grandkids. This remarkable action highlighted the growing difficulties that exist between her and Prince William. Those with knowledge of the situation have reported that King Charles eventually gave in to her request, albeit with some hesitation. This is an indication of the fact that he continues to struggle with combining his commitment to his son with his feelings for Camilla. The difficulties that King Charles is experiencing, which are both a private and a public dilemma. When Camilla made the decision to invite Andrew Parker Bowles, who had previously been her husband, it not only presented a personal challenge for King Charles, but it also presented a profoundly symbolic challenge. Given his position as a king steeped in history, Charles has devoted his whole life to upholding the customs of the crown, frequently prioritizing his duties over his own personal goals and objectives. The activities that Camilla took placed him in a situation where his personal feelings and his public responsibilities intersected, and as a result, he was compelled to address the complicated and convoluted nature of their relationship. According to those with knowledge of the situation, Charles's difficulties stem from emotions of betrayal and discomfort. Considering the long history of Camilla and Andrew's relationship, Charles has always been concerned about the fact that Camilla continues to have a close relationship with Andrew. The decision to allow an ex-spouse to private royal events was a threshold that Charles could not totally embrace without reluctance, despite the fact that he has made efforts to include modernization and inclusivity within the monarchy. Because it brought attention to the lasting link that exists between Camilla and Andrew, a bond that has endured despite the fact that they are no longer married, the invitation presented Charles with a particularly difficult challenge. The information that has been gathered suggests that Charles regarded this decision as being marginalizing, as he perceived it to be a disrespect for his feelings and his status as a spouse and a sovereign. His discontent was worsened by the public perception of his involvement, with some critics positing that his cooperation with Camilla's request indicated a diminished influence inside their marriage. This perception contributed to his displeasure at the time. The triad of complexity, which consists of Andrew Parker Bowles, Camilla, and Charles, the complex relationship that exists between King Charles, Queen Camilla, and Andrew Parker Bowles, has always been a source of fascination for the general public. Over the course of several decades, Camilla's continued relationship with her ex-spouse has been the subject of intense investigation. The fact that Camilla and Andrew divorced in 1995 did not prevent them from maintaining a strong connection with one another. They continued to attend family gatherings together and provide support for their children and grandchildren. Andrew Parker Bowles is a person who has successfully established himself as an enduring figure in royal circles, thanks to his charisma and his congenial nature. Andrew has connections to the royal family that precede his relationship with Camilla. These connections stem from his aristocratic upbringing and his time in the military. There are a number of factors that have contributed to the complex dynamics, including his previous affiliations with Princess Anne and his participation in royal events. The link that Andrew maintained with Camilla and the rest of the royal family remained polite and even supportive, despite the fact that he had a romantic history with her and that he had divorced her. There are still allegations that Camilla, Charles, and Andrew had an unspoken agreement to pay for the college education of Andrew and Camilla's children in exchange for Andrew's silence in previous problematic situations. It is even more difficult to understand this circumstance. These assertions are based on Andrew's first-hand knowledge of the turbulent relationships that existed between Charles, Camilla, and Princess Diana, who passed away. This arrangement is supposed to guarantee that Andrew will refrain from addressing the most problematic aspects of their shared history, particularly around the time when Charles and Camilla's affair was brought to light. There is an additional layer of complexity added to this web of interrelationships by the historical links that Princess Anne has with Andrew Parker Bowles. It is said that Anne's previous romantic involvement with Andrew has exerted an influence on her perspective of the relationships that exist between Andrew, Camilla, and Charles. Queen Anne is said to have made a secret reference to these agreements, which is an indication that they are well known among those who are associated with the royal family. This assumption raises additional questions regarding the internal dynamics of the monarchy, as well as its capacity to handle these delicate personal histories. King Charles has found that this dynamic has been both a source of friction and a representation of the problems that are inherent in current royal relationships. Charles has frequently found himself in a challenging situation as a result of Andrew's continuous engagement in Camilla's life, not just in the capacity of an ex-husband, but also as a trustworthy counselor. The problem of reconciling his acceptance of this connection with his own feelings has been one that he has been facing from the beginning. Despite the fact that Charles is said to have reconciled with Andrew's participation at public events, there are reports that indicate that private instances of Andrew's involvement may still cause Charles to feel uncomfortable. There are historical precedents as well as a shift in the protocols of the royal family. A notable departure from royal custom was made when Andrew Parker Bowles attended family gatherings and the coronation of King Charles. This was a noteworthy departure from the royal convention. People who have been married in the past are not permitted to attend private events, particularly those that are as significant as a coronation. Camilla's decision to invite Andrew was not only a personal one, but also a symbolic one, as it reflected her efforts to reconcile her history with her new role as queen consort. Andrew's grandchildren, Freddie Parker Bowles and Gus and Louis Lopez, played important roles as pages for Camilla during the coronation. Freddie Parker Bowles was the youngest of the three. This choice, which resonated with younger generations while confronting the expectations of traditionalists, public response, and media supposition, marked a transformation in the monarchy's acceptance of blended families. This inclusion indicated that the monarchy had finally come around to accepting blended families. Camilla's recent actions, particularly her decision to prioritize her family over royal traditions by inviting Andrew Parker Bowles to significant occasions, have been interpreted by many as an audacious proclamation that has caused ripples not only within the monarchy, but also among the general public and experts. These actions have been interpreted by some commentators as a symbolic slap directed at King Charles, highlighting the challenges he faces in reconciling his personal commitments with his public responsibilities. Those who keep a close eye on the monarchy and Camilla's decisions have stated that they demonstrate a shift in the way power is exercised, with more personal and independent actions threatening old hierarchies. The actions that Camilla has made, according to an observer, demonstrate that she is willing to put her personal interests first, even if it means that she may have to sacrifice King Charles's power. Discussions on Charles's power and his ability to preserve conventional royal norms have been started as a result of the public's perception of his restrained reaction to Camilla's behavior. Critics have pointed out that Camilla's decision to spend Christmas away from Sandringham and her invitation to Andrew Parker Bowles may be interpreted as a negative impact on the image of togetherness that Charles has been attempting to portray. A critic of the royal family stated that this decision went beyond a simple family choice. It constituted a public demonstration of autonomy, which some people would consider to be disrespectful to the authority of the monarch. Camilla, on the other hand, has been praised by others for her pragmatic approach and her unwavering commitment to her family bonds, particularly in situations where they conflict with royal commitments. Her actions, according to those who support her, are illustrative of the monarchy's need to develop, which includes adjusting to the realities of the modern world and taking into account the complexities of mixed families and individual experience. Camilla's decisions, despite being controversial, are in line with the preferences of a society that is increasingly placing a higher value on genuineness than on outmoded customs, according to an observer. The response from the media has been equally divided, jumping back and forth between applauding Camilla's tenacity and speculating about the possibility of conflict within the royal family. The attempts of Camilla were described as a covert revolt by one tabloid, while another tabloid pondered whether or not her maneuvers suggest more serious rifts within the monarchy. Discussions have arisen across various social media platforms, with a number of individuals expressing contrasting opinions over whether or not her actions are beneficial to the monarchy or whether they are destructive to it. The answers from the general public and professionals shed light on the challenges that King Charles had in maintaining his power and unity among the emotional intricacies of his marriage. In ongoing debates over the trajectory of the monarchy and its ability to reconcile tradition with shifting modern ideas, Camilla's activities continue to be a central topic of discussion. Because of Camilla's actions, there has been a significant amount of public and media reaction. There were those who praised her for putting an emphasis on the cohesiveness of the family and for breaking away from strict norms, while there were others who decried her policies for perhaps putting the monarchy's reputation in jeopardy. Joshua Rahr, an analyst of the royal family, expressed his opinion that her actions were unprecedented and emphasized the significance of these actions in highlighting the shifting dynamics of the royal family. The fact that Andrew Parker Bowles has been seen attending royal events has led to an increase in the amount of speculation that the media has over the nature of his relationship with Camilla and Charles. The continual existence of this individual, according to the assertions of some experts, is a manifestation of Camilla's emotional fortitude and practicality. There were many who questioned if Charles's acceptance of Andrew's role demonstrates his adaptability, or whether he is still uncomfortable within this complex arrangement. A modern-day monarchy, amidst a period of transition, their decisions made by Camilla show how the dynamics of the British monarchy are always shifting. Throughout its history, the institution has always been distinguished by its unwavering dedication to tradition, which frequently comes at the expense of individual satisfaction. It is clear from Camilla's actions that she is willing to challenge these established standards and reimagine what it means to be a member of the royal family in today's society. It is clear that the public's disapproval of Camilla and her elevation to the position of queen consort are examples of how the royal family's opinions are always shifting. The fact that Camilla is able to combine her previous experiences with her current position demonstrates her persistence and commitment to being truthful, despite the fact that she has encountered pushback. Observations made by the royal family. The royal family has exhibited a wide range of responses within themselves in response to these events. Camilla's wish to leave Sandringham has been supported by King Charles, which is a reflection of his unwavering loyalty to her. However, the larger repercussions of her actions have definitely caused dissension among the family. The actions that she has made may be interpreted by traditionalists as a threat to the meticulously cultivated image of the monarchy, while others may view them as a step toward making the institution more welcoming and approachable. The participation of Prince William in these endeavors is of great significance. Both his influence on the guest list and his opposition to the inclusion of Camilla's relatives are examples of his dedication to tradition and his efforts to protect the image of the monarchy. Additionally, this role has resulted in friction with Camilla, which has further strained the dynamics within the family. Thanks for taking the time to watch the video. Please share your opinions with us, and for the time being, we will say our goodbyes.